Cafe Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Rioch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. Joining us today from Los Angeles, California is Sam Asra. He's a relationship expert, helping fathers save their relationship with their child. He's the founder of Fathers Connect. So Sam, how can busy fathers make more time with their kids?
Hi, Tom. Thank you for having me. There's a lot of different ways that we teach in our program to allow fathers who don't seem to have time in their schedule to give them more time with their kids. One thing that we teach is to leverage technology. A lot of fathers, they have their routine and have their job, and they've been doing it for a while. Especially, the older crowd, it's like, this is how they've always done it. And what I would challenge a lot of fathers out there listening is to take a look at what you do day to day and see if you can leverage technology. We have so much technology nowadays to do things faster, to automate things, to delegate things, even something like ChatGPT. Imagine how many times you write messages, text messages, things that could have that you could have an AI learn about how you message things or how you structure emails. Instead of you taking an hour or 30 minutes, you could save that time by using some of these technologies. ChatGPT is great. Also, I recommend delegating things to something like a virtual assistant. Buying back your time. Think about how many hours do you spend booking appointments? How many hours do you spend, booking travel arrangements, things like that you can offload from yourself and your job and your workload and bringing that now to your children. So I would seriously recommend leveraging technology. Another thing we teach is something more around your energy when you come home and you're tired, and something that I recommend is to take a holistic look at your life as far as your physical fitness, your mental well-being, your diet. Those things will allow you to increase your productivity overall, get your work done faster, and then subsequently have more time with your child. So there's something to be said about that. If you're moving sluggish throughout the day, it will take you hours, longer time to do those tasks. And then by the time you come home, you may not have the time or energy, for that matter, to spend with your child. So
I think that's an important point, because the time has to be quality time, as they say. But if you're not energized, it doesn't matter that you're just sitting next to your child and not doing anything.
Right. I'm sure most children would agree that I'd rather an hour of fun with dad rather than 3 hours of, just kind of sitting there watching the TV and, sluggish, and you're not going to remember those moments. You're going to remember times where you had a deep conversation with dad, or dad took you to the park, or dad took you to, wherever, even just for an hour, 30 minutes. Or you could have a thing where, let's say you're traveling a lot, arrange a special time where you have a frequent call, like let's say every night before you go to bed. It's a rule. We have 15 minutes to talk and to let me know how your day went. Even that, something your child will cherish and remember that, we used to talk nightly. That was a sort of tradition that me and my dad had. So those kinds of things I would seriously challenge fathers out there to think about and
like
try.
I said, if you don't plan time in your day, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, planning is very important. If you're a little bit all over the place, it can take you longer to do those tasks. Another thing we teach is, how to prioritize your tasks and how to how to do your tasks faster. Once you've outlined and planned what you're doing for the day, you have less decision fatigue. You don't have to sit there and wonder, what am I doing next? What's the next thing? You already know what's the next thing because you spent 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the morning planning out exactly what you're doing. And that way, again, you can even plan, like you mentioned, plan out the time you intend to spend with your child. That'll make it more intentional, and it'll definitely make it more quality, not something that you thought you kind of left for like a last thing at the tail end of your day.
Well, you mentioned morning time. You always think of when you come home from work and we're tired and depressed, but if we can plan to be an earlier riser and to be with the kids if they're in school, really that time to send them off, to be present, even while they're eating their cereal.
Yeah. Or, if you can find time to drop them off even once or twice a week,
Mm-hmm.
that could be some special time with dad. Or it could be, let's say you attend some, church or doing some event every week, Sunday, whatever. Take your child with you and make that,
Mm-hmm.
some like father son, father daughter bonding sort of time as well. Um, so definitely, you have more energy in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you come home tired after a long day, you may be hungry, not have the patience, you're tired, you want to take a
Right.
shower, and you just want to sleep. So maybe it makes more sense if you want to really connect with your child and make that time quality time, as you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
is to put it in the morning.
Right.
Take that time in the morning.
And your suggestion today, because today we have many fathers or work at home fathers. So
Hmm.
how do you
That's
figure
right.
that out with your kids?
I think being intentional of when is it the time we hang out and have quality time and when is it time to work. When you aren't intentional about when those things happen, they kind of blend and no one's happy because dad is half distracted trying to get his work done, takes longer for his work to get done and probably not as much quality. And now boss may be kind of breathing down his shoulder. And then you got kid who wants to hang out with dad, but can't really hang out with him because half his attention is on work, so that's
Right.
not quality time either. So to be able to have an agreement with your children to say, when is it the right time, the best time, and let's just schedule that roughly,
Mm-hmm.
like loosely schedule that. That way, when it's time to have fun with that, it's really fun, it's really focused, we're present, we are not half distracted on the phone. Something again we teach is it's it actually backfires when you say I want to spend time with children, but then you're scrolling through your emails when you are hanging out with your child. You're not there with
You're
them.
not there with them.
Ah,
Uh,
yeah, you're taking a call, you're looking at your computer, you're responding to a text.
mm-hmm.
Those things take away from the quality of the time that you spend with your child, and it almost doesn't count,
Mm.
right? So if you want your time to count, then make sure that stuff is taken care of, and then you have also communicate with your employer. And this is easier said than done, but communicate a time that says this is the end of my workday. Yes, I work at home, but after this hour, let's agree on what hour that is.
Right.
And at that point, you cannot expect me to be on call for you unless there's prior arrangement or it's a special circumstance, of course. But in general, you can
Mm-hmm.
set that boundary with your employer. So,
I- I'm looking at your site and I see it says for professional men. So is your counseling individual? Do you have groups?
right. So the program currently we have is a group coaching program.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 modules, 1 module a week. So total, it runs 8 weeks, 2 month program. Um, and the classes are limited to about 10 to 15 people. We don't want it too big. We want to make sure everyone gets, right amount
Mm-hmm.
of attention and right amount of, when it gets too big,
Right.
for me, I feel like it diminishes the quality of the class and you can't focus on each person as much. So yeah, that's the cohort. And then each module is sort of a theme and it takes you from A to Z on how to rebuild or continue to build a deeper connection with your child, whether you haven't talked to your child in 20 years or whether you're on
Mm.
talking terms with your child and you can't seem to get past, hey son, how's school?
How was your
Good.
day?
What are you doing? What'd you do today? Nothing much. Okay, see you in the morning. See you in the morning. It doesn't get past that, and you're like, why aren't we getting past that? So we show you how to take a deeper interest in your child. How do you get into deeper conversations, and why does a lot of times moms seem to be able to have a deeper connection with child and know more about your son and daughter versus
Mm-hmm.
dad, right? A lot of times that happens where mom knows the son's friends, the son's
Well,
teachers, the son's
moms know everything,
hobbies.
right?
Right. It's like, where's dad in this picture? Right. So, yes, dad is working a lot of times, but that's no excuse. We have technology nowadays that you could, like one text and you can reach your son or daughter. You're not It's not like you cannot communicate with them. But I think showing, again, how to leverage technology to be present in your child's life is
But to
very
the point,
important.
the members of your group, so the people who are in the group, they're fathers. And
That's right.
okay, so it's directed to fathers, not just parents.
That's right. Because I feel like fathers don't get a safe space to talk about this. I feel like fathers, um, to be vulnerable, to have a confidential sort of space where they can really talk about this. I feel like there's not that many places for that. A lot of times their business workspace doesn't allow for that, right? Their friends, maybe not a great
Right.
place to talk about this. A lot of fathers aren't comfortable going to therapy, and even therapy is a one-on-one.
Right.
But what we have that's special is our community shares the burden. It's like everyone's going through a similar struggle, whether, I haven't talked to my son in 10 years, he won't talk to me, like everyone has a different kind of story, and like, we share insights and lessons, and we support each other in that group. So I think that's what makes that group very, very special. And that's why I do the things I do. So
Very good. Well, then
yeah.
how can our listeners find you?
You can find me at fathersconnect.co. That's the website. You can also search my name, Sam Asra, ASRA, and all the information is there, how to get in touch. You can book a call with me, and we can sit down and talk strategy.
Very good. Well, thanks for being here and sharing your expertise.
Thank you so much, Tom.
And again, for our listeners, it's Sam Asra, S-A-M, last name A-S-R-A. Find him on LinkedIn and fathersconnect.co, fathersconnect.co. Cafe Networking is brought to us by Focus Semi Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at focusmi.com. Talk to Tom, talk to the world. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Cafe and Networking Podcast.